So here we are again for Friday Night 9 Ball, folks. Just to point out straight away, I won't be doing the whole tournament. We're back to work again tomorrow. I managed to get the last 2 weeks in with a full tournament, but my work schedule had changed for a couple of days, which allowed me to stay to the end of the tournament. So I'm afraid this week we're going to go to 10:30, so we'll get a couple of hours in, and then Betty buys, I'm afraid. Now the bracket's just been drawn. There's about, probably, how many's in it? I think there's about 8. They're not a big turnout. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 10. We managed to get 10 in. We've got the bracket up and running. I just need to change something first, get that update a wee bit quicker. And we'll look and see who we've got. We've got McClarkey playing Daily Hustle. Daily Hustle's getting 7 and out. Larry's got a bye. Popman's got a bye. Popman and Stefan have both got a bye, so they'll be playing a second round match. We have Hoon, who's playing Black Hole, and Black Hole is getting the 5 ball. Wink at Me's got the bye. Hazard and Capo have both got a bye, and they're playing second round. So we're going to get into that first match with McClarkey and Daily Hustle, and the winner of that is going to play Larry. So let's jump in and see how things are going. So we've not even started yet. Where the hell's McClarkey got to? Let's have a wee look in the chat and see if he's in the lobby. I thought he was there earlier on, but maybe he's got called away. I don't see his name. Oh, there he is. Maybe he's just waiting till he gets the alert. A reminder that the tournament is a handicap tournament, and a race to 7 on the winner's side and a race to 4 on the one-loss side. It's double elimination, of course. And well, the reminder that the player gets, the player that's signed up to the tournament, he'll get an audible warning, like an alarm, that tells him his room's up. So he's got 5 minutes to get into the room, or he will forfeit. So this might, it may or may not go ahead, but presumably he's waiting to get the alert to come in, or we might not have a match here. Yeah, we might have nothing. Oh, there we go. He's in at last. We've got the lag, and I don't know who's who in the lag, but I would suggest that McClarkey's the one that's did the good lag. He has. He's won the lag. So player 2 is Daily Hustle. He's getting 7 and out, and we're almost off and running, but what I need to do is I need to get my bottle of water before I start dying of thirst. Right, we're all good to go now. So McClarkey having a slash at that one. Daily Hustle just needs to do the usual with this, just a gentle roll in the 2 onto the 4. You don't want the 2 running away, and it almost got away there. Now he needs a little bit of draw in right-hand English to come away unless he wants to go down the side rail. That's a bit dangerous. And he could have avoided hitting the 9 ball there had he played a little bit of bottom and right. He just needs to come back up the table for the 5. But that's woefully poor. Not a good shot. And Daily Hustle, if he's getting 7 and out, he's not going to get a chance to use much of that handicap if he plays shots like that. And he's scratched as well, so this first rack should be over. McClarkey has ball in hand. There doesn't seem to be any problem there for him, so just run that 5 in, nip out for the 6. And he needs to just make sure that when he pots this 7 that he comes out far enough for the cue ball. Now ideally, and I haven't tested my little doodle thing, but ideally he wants to be playing that 8 ball like that. Now I need to get a better line than that, hang on. A bit like that, so he can come off the rail and out for the 9. And that looks pretty good. Just beyond the line, but he's okay. Oh dear. Well, that's one that's got away, and Daily Hustle's going to pinch it. The mistake's been made. Now I'm just going to count the delay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, there's about a 8, 9, 10 second delay on the stream. So that's one that Daily Hustle shouldn't have won, but he was gifted it in the end. Just needed to pot that 8 ball. He's broke off. And now, was that a scratch? Yes, it was. He scratched on the break. Ball in hand to McClarkey, and he's gone way too far, but I think he's gone far enough that he can actually pot that too. But he's going to have to hold the cue ball to try and stay up there for the 3. And that was almost a good shot there. Just didn't quite hold it enough. So he's looking to go thin off it, miss that 9 ball and tuck the cue ball down the bottom of the table, and he's hit it well short. I mean, he should have been down in this bottom corner or down in the bottom rail, but he's still got it safe. And that's not a bad effort from Daily Hustle. And the old kick and hope. Well, that's going to run to the pocket, is it? Not quite. Stream quality looks very good. Quite happy with that at the moment. So, Daily Hustle. And his biggest problem is his position to make use of this handicap. He's now under pressure with a 6 ball and way off the mark with that one. But is he going to get lucky? Well, not quite. This is a bit fiddly, this 6 ball, but if he plays it with the right pace, he should drop onto the 7. But it looks as if he wants to just stun back the way there. He could have ran through, but the danger was running through too far and blocking himself off the 9 onto the 7. And that needs to slow up. He doesn't want to be playing this at too much of an angle. Let's have a look. You just got to roll that in and come off the rail. Make sure he comes out far enough. And that's got the pace right. He's sitting perfect on the 9. Well, if you're listening to the commentary, I'm afraid I call a spade when I see it. If I see a bad shot, I call a bad shot, whether you like it or not. Anyway, we're 1-all, and McClarkey's came up dry. Now these balls are sitting very good here. The only thing is, Daly Hustle needs to baby this one ball onto the 3, and he's again hit it too hard. But I don't think he's covered it. I think there's enough of an edge of that one showing for McClarkey just to drop it in, but he's got traffic to avoid here. I don't think he can to try and get up for this too. That 4 ball's very adjacent. That was always going to be an issue. But he's got the wee bit of luck that you need. Now this could be a decent safety. I like that. It's not bad. He's not quite got the cover, but there's not an awful lot that can be done here with this one ball. Good evening, William. See, anybody who's joined the stream late, just a reminder that due to work commitments and having to go to bed at 10:30 and been up at 4 AM in the morning, I'm afraid we ain't going to see all the tournament unless it goes quickly. I'm back to my normal shift again, so I need my beauty sleep. But we'll hopefully get a couple of good matches in before the night's out. The winner of this match is going to play Larry, so that's the match we're going to watch next. Oh dear, the old scratch kicking off the back of the ball off the rail. You're always going to run into the pocket. So ball in hand. Now, can McClarkey live up to his 2,100 rating? I think the problem he's going to have is that 6 ball. It's more or less nailed next to that middle pocket, and that makes it difficult. And if he gets a little nudge, that's done himself a favour. Did 2 things there, got the 6 ball out and held for the 5. Perfect. And he's slightly the wrong side of this 6 ball. He might need to put a bit of inside on it. Yep, just a bit of left-hand English just to push the ball back towards us. And he should be on the 8 ball, no problem. Get the whole of the table to work with. So here's the old problem that I keep pointing out week after week. If you get this wrong, you don't want to finish here or here. You want to finish there or there on the 9 ball, and he's more or less done it. Everybody should be aware of that danger of judging your pace when you're coming up with the 9 balls in the middle of the table. You always be wary about going too far. Well, McClarkey's 2-1 up. He's got a 6 ball in on the break. He's got a shot in the 1. The 2 balls there for the taking, but the 3 ball's going to be the issue now. If he's thinking about this, he can leave an angle in the 2 and try and run that cue ball into the 3 and 4. I think he's gone a bit straight here. Yeah, so that's narrowed his chances down straight away. Tried a bit of bottom and right English, but the 5 ball got in the way. But nice and safe. Daly Hustle hasn't got a sighter on that 3 ball. But a good kick. Now, that's another good one. The danger here is trying to, if you try and play a safe up by that 8 and 9, there's a danger of scratching. It's not a good place to try and hide the cue ball. So a little bit of, well, I was going to say a bit of tip-tapping there, but McClarkey went for the bank. So here's Daly Hustle's chance. He's not going to get a better one in this rack. Now he can drop the 4 in and just run through. Needs to keep going a bit. So just the 5 ball, and then roll in the 7, and he's back all square. This is where you slow down, take your time, get it lined up, and get it in the hole. Well, not a lot you can do here. If you can find a gap between the 7 and the 5, you're just going to drop on straight on to the 1. Well, McClarkey should be in trouble here. Oh well, that's one way of getting a 9 ball in. And very quickly, Daily Hustle's into the lead. He didn't mean it, obviously, from the chat, but they all count. Well, McClarkey's came up. Now, what happened there? I thought it must be lagging a wee bit, because I was wondering why it hadn't changed. So, McClarkey can take out that 7 ball. That's the extra money ball. Or that's one of them anyway. And that makes it more difficult for Daily Hustle. One of his money balls is gone. And of course the problem with that shot was guaranteeing a shot on the 1 once it had hit the 7. He's got a dodgy cut on it. He's deciding to play safe. The 1 ball needs to keep tracking. And that's pretty good. Easy enough to hit it. Might even brush it in. Oh, the spin. Is it going to run behind the 5? Well, he'll take that. I think that 5 ball is a bit too far up the table. I don't know whether he can jump, but it doesn't look as if he's going to bother. And that's ended up not bad either. That might actually be that might be set. Is it going to the jaw? I don't think he hit that right. I thought that might have been a combo. Well, there's another problem. 9 balls down over the bottom pocket here. There's the danger. That one. And the other thing, of course, is that that 9 ball makes it a much bigger pocket for the 3. So as long as he runs far enough, and I don't think he has, he's going to have to try and kick this. But the 9 ball might help it. Oh, no. Well, this rack could go anyway. Needs to keep running. Well, can he squeeze past that 6 and make the angle to push the 4 onto the 9? I think he can. Yep, and it goes. And McClarkey has got it back all square. 7 ball goes in. No real shot in the 1. Once again, he should still have a good safety though. Good jump. Once again, the 9 ball is wanting to go into that top right hand corner pocket, so it's sitting there Waiting for a little nudge onto it. Now there's a chance to play a billiard here onto the 9 off this one. It might be worth having a go at it. Well, he's waiting for the bank, so he's going all out for the run out. Oh dear, that's a bad one. Now, this would be good for Daily Hustle if he can actually take these balls out. Now his 7 ball has gone, so he's going to have to run to the 8 ball, and he's going to have to remap his keyboard as well. That's the first thing you should do in Virtual Pool 4, is go into the key mapping and remap your replay button to the backspace button, and that way it's well away from your left hand, so you don't accidentally hit the R button when you're lining up the English or anything like that. Oh, now he needs to get into that cue ball to avoid running up into the 9 or running into the corner. And now it's got awkward because he's pushed the 5 safe. The 5 and 6 are set as a combo, but he needs to get the cue ball up the table. And now is that going to scratch? No. Well, McClarky's got the same problem here. It's all very well potting the 4, but he needs to get that cue ball somewhere up there. Well, he's gone the other way. And that is not a bad effort. The problem is that that 9 ball is twice the size it normally is when you're trying to squeeze this 5 ball past it. It does go, but it is very tight. And he's played the combo instead. That was a wise move. More comfortable playing the combo than trying to squeeze the 5 in. So McClarky goes into the lead. A couple of balls have went in. Certainly. No, 3 have gone in. We've lost the 4, the 5 and the 8. So the 8 ball is one of Daily Hustle's money balls, but guess what? There's the 7 ball sitting there, and that's just waiting to be knocked in. Now this is where, when you're given the handicap and danger shots like that are sitting on the table, you've got to be careful what you do when you play safe. Now McClarky needs to watch what he's doing with this 1 ball. He needs to keep it well away from any line towards that 7 ball. There is a chance here to actually have a go at the pot in the 1, but if you get the cue ball right, you could run into that 7. Well, he's potted the 1 and no position in the 2. He can thin cut it, but the cue ball's running a mile away from the 3. Well, I think I'd be trying to draw into the 3 and getting lucky here, because there's no way you can hold for the 3. And he's tried that. He's just tried to nudge it and hold it. He's done not too bad. Still got a shot. Well, a bit heavy. He's going to have to play the 6 long. Would have much preferred to take it into the middle pocket there on the left hand side. So it looks like McClarky's going to open up a gap. Oh dear, well, somebody's lost focus. Oh dear, what's happening here? This is a disaster, is it? Oh, God. Well, Daily Hustle almost blew his chance there. But he managed to pinch that one. A bad mistake in the 9 there from McClarky. And these higher ranked players are under so much pressure when it's handicaps like 7 and out. You know that you just cannot make an error. You make the error, you're going to get punished. Now, can you get that too? I don't think you can get to the potting angle on it, so just looking to keep it safe. Not a bad effort. Well, a good jump escape, but you're always riding your luck because you don't know where the ball's going to end up. And this 3 ball should be going into the left hand middle pocket. That needs to keep running. He needs to watch he doesn't run in behind these balls up at the top end and hook himself in the 4. And he's overdone the 3, and that's exactly what he did do. So that ended up a bit of a mess. And Daily Hustle's going to have to dig himself out a hole here again. Out with the jump stick. Oh, he's going to kick it. Or he's looking to kick it, I think. And that's not bad. That's finished pretty well. It's not a combo. The 4's running away from the rail. And he tried to billiard the 4 in. So this is a bit of a tricky one because that 5 ball is obviously going to be the problem. It's very difficult to get on the 5. Now, you'd be looking to drop the cue ball here to get on the 5, or through that gap there, if it's possible. Let's have a look. Well, it is possible. Well, he's hit the jaw, that's undone him. So a thin push along the rail there, and just a bit of right English, and he's almost got away with it. But Daily Hustle could find himself in trouble here in a second if McClarkey can control this cue ball. And that's a good shot. Good shot. Got the cover. Now what we got here? Well, there's not a lot to be gained from potting the 5 because you can't go on the 6. 6 is tied up next to the 8. Now is he going to hit that 8? That would be nice if he did. Unlucky. So McClarkey just left with the old kick and hope again. Hit it a bang and hope it goes into a pocket. Or hope you get lucky. And he's not got lucky. And that 6 ball is just sitting perfect for Daily Hustle to drop it in. Dead weight. And finish on the 7. So this to take the lead. Oh dear, no, you've got to keep focused, I'm afraid. That was another poor one. A gilt-edged chance to go into the lead, and he's thrown it away. And there's the first result in. And Black Hole has beaten Hoon by 7 racks to 3. And meanwhile, McClarkey just needs to cut this 9. A gentle cut. Oh, he needs to watch the scratch. Oh. So it's McClarkey goes into the lead. 5 racks to 4. Well, I have to say, if you are listening to the commentary, Daily Hustle, You got to take my advice. When you get down to a money ball like that, you need to slow down, take your time, look at the line, and then play your shot. There's no race. You've got a shot clock and you've got an extension. That's the time you want to be using them. Just take your time, get yourself settled in the shot. Could be a 1-6 combo here. Thought better of it. Decided to play the safe. And that one's far enough off the rail to cut. Well, he's went for the old billiard onto the 9 again. And the 9's now hanging right over the pocket. He's not got cover in the 1. So, how's that nudge worked on the 3? It's not done him any favours. Now the issue now is, of course, the 9 ball is just a wee bit away from that top pocket, but the 6 ball's definitely not going in there. So something's got to be done with the 6. Now, the ideal position in this 5 would be there, because that way you could run into the 6. Now, the way he's played that, you can still pot the 5, and you can send a cue ball off the end rail and try and nudge into the 6 that way. He's tried to drop behind it, and he's just misjudged it. Now, is he going for the bank? No. Trying to just keep it tight. Oh, the yawning started already. The wrong angle in the 6, and he's going to have to work the cue ball to get over for that 8, and that was why he hit it so hard, to try and get it to spin up the table for the 8 ball. So here, well, let's see if Daily Hustle just plays at the fast speed. It didn't work the last time he had a chance, so he just needs to drop the 6 in. Oh dear. Well, you had 2 great chances. Now, one reminder for anybody who's listening in the match, remember that the cue tip is never exactly central in the cue ball after each shot. You have to line up your shot. The chances are that you're playing some shots with unwanted English on the cue ball, and that's why you're missing. If you don't line up the cue tip onto the cue ball and take off that unwanted English, you're going to just squirt the cue ball. And a lot of players forget about that. Well, Daily Hustle back at the table. And he's going to have to try and knock this 9 in, but it's not set to do that. He's going to have to catch the edge of it. And it's the old double kiss done him the favour there. So, we're back all square. 5 racks all. Daily Hustle breaking off in rack number 11. Something dropped into the bottom left-hand corner pocket. I didn't see what it was. 5 ball has gone, and this could be very quickly done here. The old 1-7 combo, and he's into the lead. as quickly as a blink of an eye. And the match has just turned right in its head in the space of 2 shots there. Now, I never checked to see where these... I know McClarky's from England. Daily Hustle, where's he from? He's from the United States. Well, Daily Hustle, if you play pool in a pool hall in the United States and you're playing for money, you're going to be asking for some money balls. But you certainly don't apologise for the handicap. You get the handicap because you deserve the handicap because of the level that you play at, and you just have to make the most of it. It's up to the guy that's given the handicap to do the hard work and stop you getting the benefit of the handicap. And if he starts making mistakes and you happen to take your chances, well, that's what it's all about. That's what makes the tournaments, that's what evens them out. The big guys with the big ratings, if they can't live up to the ratings, then they'll lose. Very simple equation. Well, that's one thing I've never done in a tournament. I never feel sorry for an opponent, because I'm thinking exactly the same thing that they're thinking. If I've got your head down, I'm going to step across your neck and try and take you out. That's what it's all about. That's what competition's about. Never feel any sympathy for your opponent because they don't feel any sympathy for you. If you get the run of the ball, you take the run of the ball. If it goes against you, that's the way it is. It all evens out in the end. Anyway, the match has gone into a final rack decider. We're at 6 racks all. Well, as far as sportsmanship goes in competition, sportsmanship rests on the fact that you shake the guy's hand, you say good shot, and good luck in the next round. Other than that, that's the only sportsmanship you do in a pool tournament as far as I'm concerned. If you get a chance to sink the 9 ball, you sink the 9 ball. It's likewise if you're getting money balls and you can sink the money ball, get it done. Get the match over with at whatever chance you can, and give me the cash, as they say. So McClarky gonna have to play a good one to get on the 6 here, and that needs to keep running. Needs a bit of pace to get back across. Entirely the wrong angle here to get down for this 7. And this is where the danger is. McClarky's got a pressure shot in the 6. He knows that Daily Hustle's got 7 and out. So he's got to try and pot this 6 or at least get it safe. And that was a great shot. But he's needing another good one. Now, that bank is almost on, but it's very dangerous going near that 8 ball if he's going to bank it up the top table. But he's done the wise move and tried to keep it safe. And now the pressure's on Daily Hustle. He can go for the thin cut for the match. Oh, it's just crept in. So Daily Hustle wins the match using his extra money ball and wins it by 7 racks to 6. Now he's going to be playing Larry next, and he's going to be getting a better handicap in that match. He's probably going to be getting 6 and out at least, if not 5 and out, which would be the maximum one. Now, where are we? Now, what's Larry doing? Is he in his own room? Larry's in practicing at the moment, so he'll get his alert to join the room. And Daily Hustle's already in. Now, we'll have a quick look at the bracket while we're waiting. We can see that match is now set up, and Daily Hustle's getting 6 and out like I thought, so Larry's under pressure there straight away. Popman is 6-3 down to Stefan. Black Hole is tied 1-1 with Wink at Me, and Black Hole's getting 5 and out. And Hazard has beaten Capo by 7 racks to 6, and he's through to round 3. So the Daily Hustle Larry match is the match we're going to be watching. And Larry should just be about to join the room, so if I can get this to work, we'll join it as well. So here we go with the lag. And I think Larry's in the left. Yeah, that's definitely Larry in the left. So Larry and Daily Hustle, both from the United States. Larry breaking off. 4 ball. Well, I thought the 4 ball was going to get in there, but it just kissed off the 8. So in this situation, Daily Hustle's getting 1 more money ball than he had in the first match. He's now getting 6 and out. And he's hooked himself in the 2. I think there's enough room there to jump over the 5. Well, that's not a bad result. He'll be in trouble in a second or two if Larry just tickles off this 2 and drops the 2 in behind the 6. Well, that jaw didn't help him there. That's actually nudged the cue ball back towards the 2, and Daily Hustle can see it. And in goes the 3. Nice little combo. And he's going to scratch. So Larry, ball in hand. Now the first problem he's got straight away is getting on the 4. Now he's got a very, very tight margin here to get onto this 4 ball. He can get it from there, and he can get it from there. And how is he looking? I think he's okay if he just squeezes past the 5, and he's done it. That was a great shot. Well judged. Perfect on the 4. I think if he can hold for the 5, he needs to just baby it in, and he's managed to do that as well. But he's going to be playing this 6 ball at distance, and the 7's awkward as well because it's shadowed by the 9 ball. So Larry's got to be careful here. The other thing is it's 6 and out to Daily Hustle, so well, Larry's got 2 ways to play this. He can pot the 6 with a bit of power and get the cue ball off there and back out for the 7, or he can try and drop over here for the 7. So he's got 2 ways of playing it. Let's see what he does. Well, he's trying to, I presume he tried to come out for the first option, which was get back across the table. And now, Larry's got himself in a hole, and Daily Hustle might have a chance here to steal the first rack. If Larry can't get this 7 safe. Well, that's not bad. He's got distance on it. It's a very difficult cut on the 7. And got to be careful here if he goes all out for the 7 to watch the scratch while he's playing at pocket weight. Well, Larry will probably bank this. It's a good bank. And he can get the cue ball out to the right here past the 9 for the 8. This shot, I would be more inclined to let the cue ball run and come over and out rather than playing it with left-hand English to try and check the cue ball back up that way. That's a bit dangerous. So he's run it to let it come round, following more or less the line. So Larry's going to eventually put away the first rack. So Larry's safety on the 7 ball left a difficult cut for Daily Hustle. Daily Hustle left the bank on. Larry got the bank and did the rest. And meanwhile, Larry's broke off in rack number 2. He's got a ball in the break. 2 balls gone. He's got a shot in the 1. And he'll have a shot in the 3 next as well. Now, what does the 5 and the 8 look like? Well, that 5 ball does go, but only from a certain position. He'd probably need to leave this 5 ball like a shot like that, just to cut the 5 in and brush off the 8. The chances are he's going to hit this 8 and 5 right now with this 3 ball when he plays the shot in the 3, but he needs to let the cue ball run to get up the table for the 4. So this could go a bit awry here. So he's nudged the 5 and 8 open. It's finished perfect. That's exactly where you want to be. He can just kill the cue ball on this 4. I think he can. I don't know whether, maybe he's got too much angle. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's got a bit too much, I think. Can he hold it? No, he couldn't. He has to let it run, and it's fell short. Now Larry's left himself with a really tough cut in the 5. He could play the reverse bank, but he's more than likely going to try. Is he going to try the cut? Let's see what he's doing. He's going for the cut. No, he's thinking wisely this time. He's playing a much better safety. And that just tells you Larry's well wary of the handicap there, but that was an excellent cut by Daily Hustle. Larry thought he'd played a reasonable safety there. And Daily Hustle just needs to drop the 6 ball in. And in it goes. And we're all square. 1 rack all. The mistake happened. Larry got out of shape in the 5. Tried the safety. And Daily Hustle come up with a good cut on the 5 and took out the rack. He was broken off in rack number 3. 1 ball is gone, and that was not the best safety shot that he'll play tonight. Immediately Larry has got an easy starter, but he's got to move the cue ball off that 3 and get back up for the 4. The old deep draw. Now that needs to keep bouncing here. Get that cue ball off the rail. Again, the problem straight away is the angles the cue ball's running away up the table. Now if he's going to let the cue ball run, he's going to hit obstacles here. He'll be very lucky if he can get down for the 5 without hitting something up there. So he's leaving himself a very difficult cut in the 5. Now the 5 is not quite on the rail, but this is tough, especially when you're given 6 and out. Well, he made a good effort at it. Where's the cue ball going? That needs to keep going, and that's not bad. You can't see it to pot it. You're going to have to try and kick it in. And he's, well, I think he must have just hit it. I don't think he kicked that off the rail, did he? Let me have a look at the stream. No, he just tried to hit it direct. And meanwhile, Larry, well, what the hell's Larry done here? Well, he can get to the 6. Well, this is another difficult one. Well, Larry's not getting to that enough, and he's hooked himself. Well, this is just going to have to be a... I thought he was going to try and kick that, but he just managed to see enough of the edge of it. So here's another one. This is a bit like the 5 ball. It's a tight angle cut here, and Daily Hustle has a chance to take the lead. And another good shot. So that's 2 racks in a row. Larry's got out of line, and Daily Hustle's taking his chance, and that's why the handicap does work. Well, you've got a rating of 2,300 and whatever it is that 369? It's all about keeping in line and taking these balls out, because that's what you're expected to do. Now there's a couple of results have come in. Popman and Stefan. Stefan has won that match by 7 racks to 5. And on the one loss side, now Capo would have been getting a hefty handicap against poor McClarkey. And Capo's won 4-2. Let's have a look at that. What was he getting? He was getting 5 and out. I mean, that's just a really tough ask to try and do that and get to 4 racks given 5 and out. Oh, good evening, Simon. I never even noticed. When did you type that in the chat? I was too busy gibbering away there. So, this is a bit like deja vu. Larry's at the table. We're in the 4th rack. He's got all the balls here now for the taking. And it's just about taking them out. So Larry's just going to draw off this 4. Now, I don't know whether he can draw past 8 without hitting it with this angle that he's got, or try and come in behind the 8. It's difficult to judge. Well, he's left it short again. That cue ball needed to get out to the right there by another 2 or 3 inches. It needed to go that way. He's now left himself one of these dodgy cutbacks, and got to also remember about position on the 7. So this is money ball territory. That needs to keep running as well. Larry's fall short. He's fallen short here, and needs another good one. And when you get yourself out of line, you just cannot keep potting awkward balls. You're going to miss one sometime. He's got another one. He's got 3 in a row here. This 8 ball is not easy. It looks simple enough, but it's got to be played at a pace to get the cue ball out for this 9. And he's hit it clean. So Larry under a bit of pressure. Still has to get the 9 down. But he's done well so far. And ties the match back up at 2 racks all. Now that's exactly what a 2,300 player's expected to do. But Larry's got nothing there. The 1 ball is on into the middle. And we could have a possible 2-9 combo. It's less likely now because he's gone way over to the left. Had the cue ball finished about here or there, he might have had a better chance. Now, let's have a look. Can he billiard that 9 in? Larry, I'm sure, is looking at it. I don't know whether, I think he's gone too far. Yeah, it was too far to try and come off that 2 onto the 9, but he's played the next best thing. A decent safety. And Daily Hustle, I think, has got away with that one. No, he hasn't. Larry's managed to squeeze out enough of that 2 ball to knock it into the middle. Now, whatever he doesn't want to go behind that 5 ball. He's played it at the right pace. Now this shot here, I think Larry's maybe going to try and come back and play the 6 into the middle. Well, he didn't get into it enough. He didn't really get into it enough. He's now got a very thin cut in for the 6, but how does he hold for the 7? Oh, where's the cue ball going? Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear. Well, that was all because he didn't get down far enough for that 6 ball. He had to play the cutback, and now he's got a jump to try and squeeze over the 8. He's played it well, but he's going to have to come up with something better than that now on this 8 ball. Well, what do you do here, Larry? Are you going for the thin cut down the rail? Looks like it. All or nothing shot. And if the cue ball bounces out and Daily Hustle takes his time, he should be back into the lead. Oh dear. Well, I think the old nerves are jangling a bit. Larry's got the same issue. No Great shot left on the 8. Well, I know what I'd be doing here. I'd be having a go at the bank. You can double bank it. Is that going to sneak in? It looks like it. It's just gone in. So, Daily Hustle managed to escape from that one. Leads by 3 racks to 2. Dry break. No shot for Larry in the 1. How's the stream looking for you guys that are watching? It looks bloody good from where I'm sitting. Oh dear, Larry's scratched. Now, Daily Hustle, cue ball in hand. There's another result came in. Black Hole has beaten Wink at Me by 7 racks to 2. Now that's a match where Wink at Me was, sorry, Black Hole would be getting a hefty handicap in his favour. Where the hell's that match? Oh, there it is there. Black Hole was getting 5 and out, so clearly Wink at Me must have made a few mistakes and lost a few racks with that handicap. Well, Daily Hustle let the cue ball run and it found a pocket. So here's Larry's chance to tie the match back up. Now, there's a thing that plays in your mind when you've got a position like this. The worry is the 7 ball, believe it or not. And the way to counter that is getting good position in the 6. And I think the only problem with this one is he's dead straight in the 6, so he can only go forward or come back. So he's going to leave himself the long 7. Oh, that just wiped its feet and went in. And I think he's dead straight again in this 8 ball. Got to judge the pace. I think he's done that pretty well. He's looking down the barrel of a 9 ball. He should sink this, no problem. So the gap has been opened. And it's now been tied back up. All square at 3 racks all. Larry breaking in rack number 7. And Larry, I'm sure, is willing to pay a few dollars to get a ball in the break. Absolutely nothing, but he's left nothing, I don't think. And another poor safety. I think my voice is going to go. Excuse me. Not a good safety. You've got to look at coming thin off that 1 ball and getting the cue ball as far away from it as possible. The Daily Hustle's leaving Larry to do all the work. Larry's gone out of line. He Looks as if he's lining it up though. Well, that's a good attempt, but once you start letting the cue ball run, always liable to find a hole somewhere in the table. So Daily Hustle, ball in hand. Now just needs to stop that cue ball and leave that 6 ball straight into the left hand middle pocket. And just drop it in. So, mistake made. Ball in hand. 2 balls to pot, and Daily Hustle does the job. Now this time he's got something in the break, but no shot in the one. Now this is an important rack for Larry because he's been given ball in hand. He's got a bit of what to do here because he's not got a problem with the 1 and the 2. The problem is getting that 3 ball, and that's what he's concerned about because he's looking at where he wants to try and get on this 3. And if you look at where the 3 ball is, I mean there's obviously playing it from down here. There's playing it from up there if you're going to try and cut it into that pocket. But it's not easy. There's obstacles in the way that can easily get in your path. So Larry looks as if he's going to try and come up past the 8 ball. Now that needs to spin up. Well, he's going to end up taking it the second option that I showed, and that's actually finished pretty nigh perfect. It's not ideal, but it was one of the 2 choices that Larry could get position in the 3, and it was a good effort. Now he's got to follow that through. It needs to keep running. Now he can run in the 4 and run through for the 5 into the top left again if he wants. Well, he's trying to hold it, and he's managed to do it. That all depends on the angle he had in the 4 there. If he had the straighter angle, he was able to play the shot he just played. If it was a bit too much, he would have had to run through. But still got to hold that position. So the crucial shot is going to be from the 7 to the 8. And it's more likely if he finishes here or here, he just needs to draw the cue ball up there for the 8. But he looks as if he's digging down. Well, this shot, how do I look at that shot? Well, I would tend to want to come down the left hand side, come off there and down here. You could play it with inside English so the cue ball goes that way, but he's followed the green line and he's perfect. Now if he's dead straight on it, well, he's got the little angle, so that's simple. You can just roll through, come around the corner if you want. And a straightforward 9 ball. Larry's into the lead. No, he isn't into the lead. He's tied it up at 4-all. I'm sitting here watching it and I don't even know the scores. Well, Larry's broke off. And Daily Hustle's got a shot in the 1. Now, whatever he does here, he needs to get this cue ball running because he wants to get it back out into the table. Well, that's got to be the worst shot tonight. Because if he had run that cue ball around the corner, he would have the 2-6 combo for the rack. He's got away with it, but this rack should have been over. 2-6 combo was there for the rack. Well, if you're listening to the stream, Daily Hustle, I said exactly what you needed to do there. Run the cue ball with top, you're around the corner, at least got it out, and had a shot in the 2-6 combo for the rack. And Larry's banked it. That's true, yep. But you've got to be able to see these things. The 2-6 was sitting there waiting for you. All you had to do was get that cue ball running, get it out into the table somewhere where you can just run the 2 down the rail onto the 6. Meanwhile, Larry's got a job in hand here, and it looks fairly straightforward. The only thing he's going to have an issue with is the angle he gets on this 8 ball to get back up for the 9. Now, the ideal shot for Larry here would be to leave this sort of angle on the 8, because that way he can cut the 8 in and get the cue ball back that way for the 9. So anything but straight on this 8 ball when he pots the 7. And that's not bad. He's got a choice. He can actually come off the rail and come back like I suggested. He could actually go forward as well and let the cue ball run. Oh, the old power shot has done it again. That was always the problem with these pockets when you start playing that little power shot to get the cue ball back. As soon as they hit the jaws, they ain't going in. And, well, that's a gift for Daily Hustle, but that's what it's all about. And Daily Hustle's broke off in rack number 10. We have lost the 3 ball. He's got a thin one on the 1. But the power that he's played that shot with was never going to get in position. And this is where you take your game to the next level. When you're playing a shot, you think about the weight of shot you're playing in order to get on to the next object ball. If you're an 1800 player, the one thing that you will do to get your rating up and to become more consistent is to stop and look at the shot you've got. It's a simple thing. It's like a standard practice you would do when you come to a table in real life. You've just got to think about the weight that you're playing the shot and how far you're going to try and move this cue ball to get on the next ball. You can worry about English and all that sort of stuff after all of that, but you have to work on your weight of shot, because that's the thing that's going to get you a little bit more success. But meanwhile, whoever's going to win this rack is going to have their work cut out, because the 6 and 7's tied up. Now, Daily Hustle can do a gentle little tickle in this 5 ball and try and tuck it behind the 9. Well, he's done better than that. He's potted it, but what's he going to do with the 6? I think it's the old give it a bang and hope here. That's what I'd be doing. But that's not a bad outcome though. Pressure's immediately on Larry to keep this 6 ball safe. That's easy enough to do. You can just tuck it back towards the 9 and get the cue ball down the bottom of the table here. He could go the other way and just cut the 6 towards the 8 It's a bit dangerous doing that, but he could try and get the cue ball behind the 9. So he's got two choices, either 6 towards the 9 or the cue ball towards the 9. Well, that's a great shot. Excellent. And Larry's now straight away become the odds-on favourite with that safety shot. Well, good kick. And how's his luck? Well, that isn't bad either, but I think Larry can use that 8 ball, can he? I think he doesn't even need to use the 8 ball, he can actually just feather the 6. Very delicate shot. Actually looks a lot easier when you look at it that distance. Right, he's used the 8. And he's finished nicely on the 7. Now there's a danger here as well, trying to run off the 7. You can run into the 9, but the normal shot you would do would become round the corner. So Larry's trying to draw it back out. And now he's... Well, I don't think he can hold... Surely he can't hold for the 9. He's got to let the cue ball runner play the bank. Is he going to try and leave the high angle on the 9? No, he's done well. That's a lot. He played that a lot better than I thought he could. I thought it was difficult to hold for the 9. But it's good enough to get him back all square. 5 racks all. And this time the 5's gone in. Now I think the... What the hell was that? They went in with it. 5 and a 2. Larry can certainly pot the 1. What does he do to get on this 3 though? Virtually impossible to get on the 3 from that angle. If he can get the cue ball across here, well, that 9's done him a great favour, because that's at least left him the cut. That's one that's got away. Now, what does Daily Hustle do? Because that'll still thin cut along the rail. Oh dear. Well, the scratch has done Larry a big favour. This time, with ball in hand, he could just roll straight through, over behind that 8 ball, and off the rail and up the top end for the 4. As long as he stays well away from the 8, he's fine. He's got a good angle. He can actually just draw off the 4 and leave the 6 into the middle. The only danger with that shot is leaving yourself this angle. You need to leave yourself that angle in the 4 to drop onto the 8. The 7, sorry. If he goes too far, he's ended up cutting the 6 back in, so he's going the wrong angle towards the 8, so the 7 ball. Why do I keep calling it the 8 ball? Oh, well, that was hedging your bets there, but he's got on it. And another result through from the one-loss side, and the top man has beaten whom in a final rack decider, 4 racks to 3. And it's Larry that's going to be sitting on the hill Needing one more rack and breaking off in rack number 12. Nothing down. Now this shot, it's easy enough to hit the edge of the one. The judgment of pace is the thing with that shot, and trying to manoeuvre the cue ball and use those balls up the top as blockers, but he kissed into one of them and it's just left it in the open. But meanwhile, at the top end of the table, we can see the 3 goes no problem, because the 2's more than likely going to get into that pocket, so you can drop onto the 3. But Larry hasn't put the 1 away. Well, this has got scratch all over it if you don't hit this 1 ball full in the face. Now, well, Larry's got no option here. He can't do anything with the 1 ball, so he's going to have to go for the 3 fouls. Now, a bit of left-hand English would push the cue ball. Well, I didn't want to hit the jaw. And that's maybe ended up as a possible combo. It's not set, but it is a chance. And it's going to go in if it has legs. It's getting there. Just squeezed in. Another one of these very nasty thin cuts, and the one along the rail. Not what you want, but if you can get it. Another possible 2-9 combo was sitting there. Now, can Larry hit that thin enough? Get the cue ball off there, down here. And that's a shot. Or is it? Now, well, he can get to the 1. Can he play the 1-9? No, he can't. But he's got cover, so end result was pretty good. Another result came in, and Wink at Me has beaten Capo in a last rack decider as well, 4-3. Well, Daily Hustle can pot the 1. The question is can he get that cue ball into that very narrow window? And that's an excellent shot. Now can he make the most of it and get the 2-9? And that was well played. So here we go, folks. Final rack decider. And Daily Hustle breaking off in rack number 13. Well, the 1 cuts in, no problem. The cue ball, well, maybe I should have went up and had a look at that. Maybe it didn't cut in comfortably. It looked like it from this end. that's in no position really to go on the 4 without playing this with a bit of left-hand English. The cut in the 2 is bad enough, but to hold the cue ball off that rail and come back this way for the 4 is really a tough ask. But Larry's played it well, he's controlled it well, and he's got the shot in the 4, and he's got the angle to get up for the 5. Well, it's 9:30 and the old body clock has kicked in. We're in shutdown mode again, folks. And that's going to be a nice kiss in the 8. So Larry cannot afford to make an error. Well, that is finished short. That's immediately made his run out a lot tougher. The reason it is because the cue ball has to be travelling to get over for this 7. Because the angle in the 6 is not good. And that 9 ball is a bit in the way. He's played the big draw and he's going to finish dead on the 7. And now, well, Daily Hustle could have a shot here. Larry's got to try and get this 7 safe somewhere. And you try and squeeze over behind the 9. And don't you think he's got enough angle to do that? He's so close to the 7, that's the problem. And I'm looking at this and I can't think what to do to keep it safe. You just push it to the rail. And he's trying to keep distance, and that's an excellent shot. Because if you're going to come off the left-hand edge of this 7, you're going to scratch. Where's the 7 tracking? Well, it's gone safe. That's all you can ask. But Larry's got a much easier safety shot this time. He can send the 7 up to the top rail, up there, and get the cue ball down here. Or try and get it over by the 8 if he could. Just got to judge the pace and not overhit this. But it's all about keeping distance. Well, he's gone all out for it. He's went for the bank. And he's going to pay the price. If Daily Hustle can cut this 7 in and not scratch. Oh, he's overdone it. Well, you're not going to get a better chance than that. It wasn't dead easy, but Larry grabbed the bull by the horns and went all out for the bank when the safety would have been a better shot, but he's maybe going to escape here. Well, this is going to be simple enough. Pot the 8 ball, cue ball off the cushion, back out into the middle of the table for the 9. Not a problem. Well, he's went around the corner. He's left himself further away from it, but it's dead straight, I think. Yeah. So Larry has got away with it and wins the match by 7 racks to 6. So there's been a lot of stuff happening while we've been watching this match. And let's have a look at the bracket, see where we've got to. Well, Larry's through to play Stefan. Black Hole is playing Hazard, and Hazard is trailing by 5-3. Black Hole is getting a 7 and out. Now on the 1-loss side, well, we've got players there waiting on opponents basically. There's nothing happening there. Now this match with Larry and Stefan, Stefan's getting a 5 ball And Stefan's a good enough player if he just takes his time and takes his chances. But he's going to have to work hard to make use of that 5 ball. Let's have a look. Let's have a look in this match and see what's happening here with Hazard and Black Hole. I've never seen this Black Hole guy. Where the hell's he from? He's from the States, Hazard from the UK. I think Black Hole must be a relatively new player. I don't think he's been around long. His rating would suggest he hasn't. There's 400 points between these players. How can that be the case? How can it be 400 points between 2 players and yet player 1 is only getting 7 and out? Why is he not getting 5 and out? That's what I want to know. 9, 17 and 5. Sorry, it's not 400, it's 300 and whatever it is. It's going to finish in no man's land. Well, this is down to the business end of the rack, so Hazard just trying to push it to the rail to keep it safe. I think there's a bank on there. Might as well have a bash at it. That's not going to be a bank if he's playing it that way. Unless he's trying to bank it into one of the corners. No, he's going for the safety. Well, at least he's got distance on it. Well, these shots are tough for a new player. Judging the cutting angle on the 8 ball at this angle. Yeah, he's hung it up. But it's not all over yet because the 8 ball's buried deep into the pocket, and that's the worst shot to have to play to try and get on this 9. Because you can only come backwards off it. And his judgment's not too bad. At least he's got a shot in the 9. And what does he do? Does he play the pot or does he go for the bank? He's playing the pot. So Hazard gets 1 back. Still trailing by 1. Now the 3 ball has gone in the top right. That little nudge on the 5 has done him a favour to hold him for the 1. And he can just drop straight onto the 2. Now you want to just stop this cue ball. Well, he's only going to have to draw back. And it's much better if you overdraw this, because at least you're still going to have a shot in the 4. The cue balls, well, that little nudge in the 5's done him a favour again. And what does he do to get on the 5 though? Because I think he's straight on the 4. Yeah, pretty much dead straight. And if he squeezes in behind it, he's got a nice shot in the 5. Not bad. Well, he's hung it. Now that's easy enough to kick in. But you need to let the cue ball run to try and take the 6 into the same pocket. And that looks a reasonable pace. So he needs the 6 and the 7. You just pot that 6, let the cue ball run to the rail and come back out. And not too hard, because you don't want the cue ball running a mile. And he's overdone it. It's always a learning process if you're relatively new to VP4. Being able to pick those angles. Now this shot here I'd be going for the bank, because there's a strong chance of getting a double. If you don't get it in one pocket, it will go across the other corner pocket, and at the same time you're taking the cue ball up the table. Well, he's going for the safety, and as long as he doesn't scratch, well, is there? I don't think there's enough room there. Let's have a look. Nope. So now Hazard has a chance to tie the match. Just drop the 8 ball in, not let the cue ball run, and you've got a straight 9 ball to go all square. Was it? Was it Potman? I know he quit on somebody. I couldn't remember who he was playing. That the guy that's been doing a lot of quitting before the end of matches is that Irish Gaz guy. And I on my day off there was a, what tournament was it? I think it was a 10 ball tournament during the week there on either Tuesday or Wednesday in the afternoon, and I don't think I'd ever seen this Irish Gaz guy playing, and I played him, and I mean, the guy plays good enough. There's no reason for him to be quitting matches just because of a handicap. He knows how to play some shots, so I don't see any reason for it. Needless to say, my tactical superiority won out in the end in that match. That and the fact that when I was up 4-3, he hung the 10 ball over the corner pocket and made it easy for me. But the guy's good enough. He's a good enough player. He's not a banger. He knows how to pot balls. No reason for quitting. Anyway, Black Goal is leading 6-5. Breaking off in rack number 12. Got no joy in the break. And according to the chat, Hazard is going to get going to relieve himself. Let's have a quick look at the match scores. Well, Larry is tied up at 1-1 with Stefan. And when this match is over, we'll drop back in on the in the Larry Stefan match. And Black Hole has done the gentlemanly thing and passed it back to Hazard. The shot clock ran out while he was away at the bathroom. Well, not a bad safety. And Blackhole could have Hazard in trouble here, as long as he can punch the one ball up the table and keep the cue ball up the top end. Well, that wasn't a great shot. Well, Blackhole's getting 7 and out. Hazard's at the table, he's got the 2 and he should be able to take the 3 ball. Now that 4 and 7 aren't set as a combo, they have to be made. But that's probably the only shot he's going to have. Now he should just be stopping the cue ball right there where the 3 ball is. Or maybe just run through an inch. Well, he went for the old spectacular shot and trying to do something and it was never on. And now he's just got himself in a hole. Now straight away here Hazard has to hit this 4 and move something. Well, he's not, so now he's left Blackhole with a 4-7 combo if he wants to try and take it for the match. Yes, for the match. Aye, 6-5 up. Well, it didn't go. A shot here for Hazard. He can get on the 5 if the cue ball runs. Well, he's got on the 5 but missed the 4. But now this is anybody's rack. Now you pot the 5 and you run the cue ball off that side rail because the angle's there to do it. You run it off and get it out here for the 6. He's left it way short. That cue ball is a foot short from where it should have been. Now as it is, he's given it to Hazard to do the same thing, pot the 5 and run through. And what's more, well, I don't think Hazard can avoid hitting the 7, can he? If he pots this 6 with the potting angle, he's going to run into the 7 and needs a bit of luck. Well, there's the luck. He's left Blackhole tied up. Now, can he see enough of that to cut it? No, he can't. So, can Hazard use his ball in hand? Well, he seems to want to play this 1-8. Why is he not just running the 6 ball into the opposite corner? Leave yourself the angle in the 7 to bring the cue ball back out, because you don't know what's happening with this 6 ball. So now he's left himself much too high of an angle in the 6 to be able to hold for the 7. So he's got to power this in and let the cue ball run. You pot the 6, the cue ball down and back up. Well, he just decided to play safe. And it's an easy safety for Blackhole. Cut it back towards the 7, get the cue ball down the bottom of the table. Well, that's still the same effect. It's a good shot. Okay, you can see it, but there's not a lot you can do with it. Going all out for the bank. And Blackhole's going to have trouble here because he's right over the 7 ball. And of course the 6 does cut, but it's very, very difficult to judge that looking down on the cue ball and trying to pick a sight on the 6. Well, there's the hazard of having a house cue, because the miscue point on the cue ball is increased when you're using a house cue. And this is a golden opportunity now for Hazard to tie the match. Oh dear. Well, maybe he doesn't want to, but Black Hole has got a cut on the 7. And in it goes, and Black Hole has gone through against Hazard by 7 racks to 5. So straight away we'll go to the bracket and we will jump in on the Larry Stefan match, and Larry's now up by 4 racks to 1. Stefan, player 2, getting the 5 ball. And Stefan, I think, is from Germany, isn't he? Yes, he is. I don't think Larry can pot this 3. He can pot the 2, no problem, but I don't think he can pot the 3, can he? Can you get enough on that to actually cut it in? I don't think he can. I think he's just going to have to punch the 3 ball up the table here. Try and leave the cue ball up where the 5 is. Is he going for the double kiss? Nope. Just keeping it safe. I know the shot I'd be playing. Cut that 3 back towards the 5. Cue ball over that way and down there behind the 4 if I could. But it's now wide open. And the 4 does not go past the 7, so there's work to do here for Larry. Where's that 4 going to end up now? Well, oops, wrong button, hang on. Well, I don't know whether he can play the cut onto it or try and play the billiard off the 4 with the cue ball and nudge into the 7. He's tried to play the cut, but it wasn't set. Oh, that's a good result, though. Stefan will be out of the jump stick any second. And trying to cut that 4 onto the 7, I think. He's missed that, but if the 4 ball slows up, well, no, it's bounced out now. Well, I think Larry just wants the cue ball up the table as far as he can. And that's looking good. It's just bounced. Well, it's actually bounced far too far. Well, here's Stefan's chance. He's trailing by 4 racks to 1. He's maybe only going to have 1 more shot in this rack, and if he gets this 5 ball, he'll reduce the deficit, and he needs to get it. 4-1 to 4-2, or 5-1. Oh dear, he's scratched. Well, that's the worst outcome. But it's still not set in stone that Larry's going to win this rack, because the 8 ball's the problem, but it's more than likely that when he pots the 7, he's just going to try and drop the cue ball over here as far as he can. I don't think that's a great angle. Well, he is. He's going to draw off it. He's got enough to draw off it. Oh dear, it needs to bounce. Well, would you believe it? The only place he could put himself, and he stuck himself right behind the 9. And surely this time Stefan will just roll the 8 down into this bottom left corner, stop the cue ball and roll the 9. Stefan breaks off, trailing by 4 racks to 2. The 8 ball has gone. He's got a shot in the 1. Sorry, not the 8 ball, the 7 ball's gone. The 8 ball's hanging over the top left. So it's going to be a 2-8 combo, and it's got to be dead weight. Just roll the 2 onto that 8, leave the 2 over the pocket. And there's a big window to get that cue ball into to get on the 3. Now this is finished a bit of a problem, because when he tries to pot this 4, he's nudging the 5 over to between the 9 and the 6. Well, he's just managed to brush off it, and that's actually not bad, but it is not a simple 5 ball. But this for the rack, and in it goes. Oh, Larry still leading by 4 racks to 3. Stefan's came up dry. Potman's beaten Daily Hustle in the 1 lost side. Another one that's went to a final rack decide. I think most of those in the 1 lost side have all went to the last rack. Let's have a look. Yeah. Well, that one was a 4-2, but there was 2 or 3 the results come through there. That's a 4-3, that's a 4-3, that's a 4-3. Yep. A whole rash of final rack deciders in the 1 lost side. Well, that was a good little shot there by Stefan. And what's more, he's got a cut in the 3, I think. Can you see it? Yes, he can. Now that cue ball needs to hold up here. He's going to run in. Oh dear. Well, that was unfortunate. If it had slowed up, he would have had a shot in that 4. And then only needed a 5. Well, so Larry, ball in hand. All the balls there in the open. But he's gone a bit too square in the 5 straight away. And now he's out of line, and he's hooked himself. Well, I think he's... Can he see enough of that to bank it? I think he can. He's lining up the bank. He's going to double bank. Yes, it is. Oh, look at that nudge to hold for the 7. Well, I don't think there'll be many prizes for guessing what Larry will do here. He'll just kill that cue ball and leave the 9 into the left-hand middle as we look, unless he wants to try and force the cue ball around the corner, but I'd be just killing it. Yeah, no heroics, just get the job done. So it's Larry that looks as if he's going to open the gap. Gone to 5-3. Where's the 1 ball going? Into the middle. and a shot in the 2. The 3's in the open. So if he's not dead straight in the 2, which he is, there's not much he can do. Well, he's trying to pinch an angle, and he's pinched a bit too much and ran too far. That's, you're always asking too much to do with these cutbacks. Not an easy shot. Well, Larry will be happy with that though, because he's left Stefan Chinese snookered over the 9 ball. Oh, this is not, it's just not, they're just not lying right here for Larry. Stefan's almost got away with it. There's no doubt Larry's going for the 3 into the top right. And he gets it. And he's perfect in the 4. Because he can just punch the 4 in and nudge the cue ball over here for the 5. And that is perfect. Almost. I think he's maybe a bit straight though. No, there's a slight angle. And he's going to have to try and draw across the table here twice. Draw back. And that's why he's missed it. Because he wanted the cue ball just about where it is or slightly further down there for that 6. He needed to get down to about here. So, this is the money ball. And you've just simply got to take those, Stefan, when you're trailing 5-3 and you've got 1 ball for the rack. Well, this he's got to punch this in to get that cue ball away from the rail. He has to punch it in. And now it's all about the forward momentum. Pot the 7, cue ball off the rail and back down for the 8. Anything but dead straight. And he's got the little angle, and I would just draw that in, a little bottom left, back this way and out for the 9. And that's got the job done. So Stefan, admittedly it wasn't an odds-on certainty 5 ball, but he had the 5 ball money ball for that rack. He's missed it and Larry's run out. So Larry now needs 1 more. And of course gets nothing in the break. And in turn he's left. I think that 1 goes. I think you can see enough of it past the 6. You can actually cheat the pocket a wee bit as well here to pot this 1. Yep. And that's a good shot. Got enough pace on it to get right down onto that 2 into the right middle as we look. And he can come between the 5 and the 8 if he wants, I think, with the angle that he has. No, he's managed to run through. Is he going to miss the 6? Oh dear. Oh, what's happened here? Yeah, you can squeeze that in, no bother. That needs to keep rolling. And it's just got there. This is roll through with the cue ball. He's Going to leave the 5 long. I would have preferred to roll through and come off the rail and back up for that 5 into the left middle. He's leaving this at distance. This isn't a dead set, because he's still got to manoeuvre the cue ball because he's got the wrong angle in the 5. And now he's done it again. He's left himself this awkward square shot in the 6, and this is where things get out of line. Okay, if he pots the 6, there's no way he's not going to get on the 7, but it all hinges on this shot here. And it goes nice and clean and perfect angle on the 7. You can just stun this 7 ball in. You stun it in, cue ball come up here, or you can run it in and come off there and down here for the 8 into the right middle. Gone a wee bit further than we really want to, because it means the cue ball's running slightly now. But you should be able to drag this in and try and take the pace off the cue ball and just come off the bottom rail. Played that with bottom and right hand English so it would go around the corner, and he's plumb on the 9 ball. So this for the match, and Larry wins by 7 racks to 3. And Stefan moves over to the 1 loss side where his opponent's already there waiting on him. And meanwhile Larry's gone through to round 4, and he's going to be playing Black Hole, and Black Hole is going to be getting 5 and out against Larry. And meanwhile we're going to nip over to the 1 loss side, because this is probably going to be the last match that we're going to be able to stream tonight, folks. And we're going to watch Wink at Me, who's going to be playing Stefan. And now Popman is trailing by 1-0 to Hazard, who's getting, now I can't see that, is that the 8 ball? Looks like it. And Stefan, I think, is getting the 8 ball as well against Wink at Me, so we're going to watch that match. Now who's in the room? Stefan's in the room. And now the one person I don't see in the lobby, unless I'm blind. Oh no, there he is. Yeah, he's joined the room. Right, hang on. Let's get in. The lag's probably started. So we're in the first rack in this 1 loss side. And Stefan is getting the 8 ball as his extra money ball. Well, there you go, Stefan. You've got ball in hand. You've got every ball in the open. Now, can you control this cue ball and take these balls out up to the 8 ball? And there's really no excuse not to. Now, this is where he could come undone here. He needs to hold this cue ball and stop it running. Now you can pot the 4, come off the end rail. Playing it a bit of inside, so the cue ball's going to go that way. Now this is where it will really go wrong if he gets the pace wrong, because he's going to go forward and the cue ball's going to come this way. Now if he finishes there, he's going to be hooked. Well, now he's got himself too high in the 6 for comfort, so I think he's got to run this up and down, and I've got the hiccups now. That needs to keep going. It needs to keep running. That needs another good thin cut in the 8 and the 7. But remember, he's still got to get the 8. Well, none of these are easy. He's got another one. He's got to go for the thin cut. So this to win the first rack. And he's played it well. That was a nice little out there for Stefan. And he had his chance and he took it, and that's what you have to do. When the balls are all in the open, you just have to concentrate on what you're doing with the cue ball and at least getting the pace right on shots. But he left himself a couple of difficult thin cuts and managed to take them out. But no joy in rack number 2 in the break. Well, that was a good shot. Deserves to be on the 2, and he's managed to do that. It's very likely he could hook himself on this 4 ball here, the angle that he has. Well, he focused on the position but forgot about the 3 ball. Oh, that's unfortunate. Nice cut by Stefan there on the 3, but the 6 and 4's tied up. But he's left it safe. Now, if Winketme just feathers this 4 and the cue ball runs far enough off that left side rail and out, he's going to leave a 6, a possible 4-6 combo, and that's what he's done. And that was always the problem when you're just feathering the 4 ball and not moving it too far away. Stefan's got a 4-6 here if he wants to go for it. And he's played that a very nice way. So Stefan has a very good chance here to grab a 2-0 lead. Now he needs to run through on this. And he's left it short, but it's not too bad because, well, he's trying to dig down on it. Is he managing to hold it? Well, that's a good shot because I didn't think he could hold it. I thought he'd had to run around. So this to go 2-0. Oh dear. Well, 2 or 3 balls went in there, but one of them was the cue ball. So ball in hand for Winketme, and immediately he's got a problem. But I think the 2 ball, well, oh yeah, there's plenty of room there as long as he can run through far enough. Well, you don't want to run into that 9. It's okay. Well, the shot to play here is to just run off the rail and come back up. Well, he's made a hash of that. Well, this would be a good rack for Stefan to steal here, because that was a bad miss. And a nice angle on the 2. He's got a shot in the 3, not an easy one again, but he should have no problem. He doesn't need to worry about the cue ball. He's got to be on the 5. Just got to fully concentrate on the cut. So we know the 7 doesn't pass the 8 on that side. Now, the angle that he's got, if he wants, he can run the cue ball, come down there and get the 7 into the middle. Or if he runs too far, he can have the 7 into the corner. Well, I don't know what he's tried there, but it certainly didn't work. He actually stunned that too much, and then with the spin he had in the cue ball, it was only ever going to go one place, just straight into that pocket. So Wink at Me has got a chance he probably didn't expect. Well, that's finished in no man's land again. It's one of these tweaky ones. That was well done. Not an easy shot, but he's off and running. He's got 1 on the board, and that's one that got away there for Stefan. Now, something flew into the top right. The 3 balls went into the bottom right, and the 5 ball was the ball that went into the top right. We have a 4. A possible 4-7 combo. It's not set, but it can easily be made. There's enough space there to make the angle to punch that 7 in. Well, that's changed it, because the 4's now wide open. And Wink at Me is hooked in the 1. Now, if he's going to jump this at this distance, it'll be a good shot if he keeps the cue ball on the table. And he's managed that. And what's more, he's finished very nicely on the 2. But it's only going to be a little roll through, because I don't think he can do an awful lot with the cue ball and leave this a long 4. And how does he get on the 6? He's going to have to thump this in and run that cue ball. Yeah, that was always the issue. Tried to actually steal a bit of an angle there, which wasn't really there to play the shot that he played. A good effort at getting on that 6. So another chance for Stefan. He's sitting good in the 6. He's got the wrong angle in the 7. But he's got to run the cue ball somewhere to have a shot in this 8. Well, all you say in this shot is good luck. Pick what you're going to do, play the bank, play the pot, but it's just this 1 ball that he needs. He's overdone it. And how's his luck? Not too good. Wink at Me can just stun the 8 in, drop behind that 9 into the same pocket. So this to square the match up. 2 racks all. Race to 4. on the one lost side. Now we'll have a quick look at what's happening. Larry is currently 3-1 up against Black Hole. And Popman is now 2-1 up against Hazard. And this definitely will be the last match. I'm going to pull the plug after this. Stefan is well and truly buried behind that 9 ball. Now you're going to have to get right into this cue ball here if you're going to play the cut. Well, that's actually a good shot. Well, it's looking like Wink at Me's the one that's going to have to deal with this 8 ball. Should be easy enough to pot the 4, go over for the 6. Well, he's trying to draw up the table. Well, there's nothing good come out of that shot because he's nudged to 8. And the 8 does pass the 9, but the problem is the 7 ball. How does he get on it? This has got to be a really accurate shot if he's going to try and come across this other side. And that's an excellent shot. Oh, that's a great effort now. I think he can tweak that in. It's got to go in. And a little drawback onto the 8. And that's finished not too bad either. So this to take, this and a 9 ball, I'm thinking he'd a handicap there. Well, I'll give him the 9 ball. So Wink at Me is winning rack number 5 to go into a 3-2 lead. And just needs the one more to go through. Well, you cut the 1. Cue ball back out. Needs to bounce, and it's bounced nicely. He's got the cut in the 2. Now, whatever he does here, he doesn't want to get too elaborate and try something ridiculous. If you cut that 2 in, the cue ball's going to go over here somewhere. And he's hit it with far too much pace. You were just looking to find a gap to play the shot. Well, there you go, Stefan. Here's your chance. Balls are all there. They all have a pocket to go in. Oh dear, dear. Well, maybe Stefan's getting as tired as I am. Oh, that was unlucky. Well, this is a point of no return here for Stefan. He's got to get that cue ball up the table, and this is the hardest shot to judge when they're in the pockets like this. And he's got there. Don't go behind the 9, whatever you do. Oh dear. Well, good luck, Stefan. And whatever you try here. So, wink at me, leading by 3 racks to 2. Drop the 7 in. Don't leave yourself dead straight like that in the 8 ball. So now he's going to have to do something. Anything but dead straight. So it's draw down the table, back up the table, and roll the 9 down the rail. So it looks like wink at me is going to end Stefan's participation in this week's Friday Night 9 ball. In goes the 9. Wink at me wins the match by 4 racks to 2. And that will conclude the coverage of the tournament this week, folks. I'm afraid it's gotten to my deadline. Let's have one more look at the bracket. We see wink at me sitting there. And wink at me is waiting on the winner of the Potman and Hazard match. Let's have a quick drop in there because it's 3-all. Now, was that a legal shot there? Yes, it was. Hazard getting the 8 ball as the extra money ball in this match. Well, he's hung up the 2. Well, I know that having seen Potman play a lot, if he takes his time, he should have begun a damn good try at running this rack, but he's gone the wrong side of the 3, so now he's out of line because the cue ball is going to clip the 7. But can he roll off the 7 and actually hold for the 4? I think he can. If he just rolls this 3 in. Yep, that was not bad. And the slight angle is there. He can punch the 5 in. You punch it in. Cue ball off there. And up there for the 6. Now, think he's looking for problems here, but if he just hits it hard enough, it'll stun up the table. And he went around the corner. Get rid of that thing. And the angle he's got in the 6, he should be able to get the cue ball back up for the 7 if he lets it run. All hinges on this 6 ball. Well, he's nudged into the 8, but he's still got a cut. Admittedly, it is not an easy one. And he needs to watch the scratch in the right middle here. He needs to be careful. That right hand middle pocket is lying in wait for this cue ball with this shot. And he's overcut it. But he's got second prize. Or has he? Well, Hazard's had a blast. And that has ended up extremely awkward. But it's 3/4 of an inch off the rail, so it can be cut in. Well, this match is going to go either way. And Hazard has a big opportunity here. The bank is on. The banks are open, folks. If you don't get it in the bottom left, you get it in the top right, top left. But he hasn't hit it. But it's gone safe. Well, same thing for Stefan. You play the bank. If you don't get it straight away, get it that way. Or get it straight in. All or nothing. And it's gone straight in. But he's going to have to pull another good one out here. Did I say Stefan there? I don't know. I don't know who I'm talking about. I don't even know who's playing. Popman's playing Hazard. And this is not a... I mean, there is a fair margin of error on this 8 ball if you just hit it at the right pace, because... Is he going to cheat it in? No, he's not. Well, whatever you do, don't follow the 8 ball in. Get that cue ball off the rail and back across for the 9. And that's what he's done. So it looks like Hazard is going to win out in the end. Oh, aye, of course he is, because he only needed a bloody 8 ball, didn't he? Right, so Hazard's through by 4 racks to 3. Now we'll definitely have one last look at the bracket. Wink at Me is now waiting to play Hazard to get through to the one loss side final. And this bloody bracket annoys me. And he'll be waiting there to play the loser of the Larry Blackhole match, and it looks like Blackhole is going to be his opponent, because Blackhole is trailing by 6 racks to 2 against Larry. And with that, folks, I'm going to bid you good night. I'm going to head to bed, and thanks for those who were watching, and we will see you again.